Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Have I got a story for you today? I don't know how I'm going to title this video or edit or, label it and description and that, but I've got an interesting story for you nonetheless. It's about the new Volkswagen Tiguan. I'm currently sitting in our second brand new Volkswagen Tiguan since January 1st, 2025. And I'll just get right to the story and start. December, after Christmas, New Year's, right around that time, we owned a 2021 Buick Envision, all-wheel drive, little SUV similar to all the other ones in this compact class or mid-size class, I think they are. And it had about 30,000 miles. Warranty was just about up on it. I think we were at 33,000 miles, something like that. Warranty was about up. Volkswagen was offering some 0% down, 0% interest financing for 72 months or 60 months. I can't remember what it was. Anyways, we could get into a new car with warranty that was going to be on there for 5 years, and the payment was going to be the same. So like, hey, great, we'll go look at this Volkswagen. So we bought a blue Tiguan, Wolfsburg edition, and had right around January 1st, right? And we had it 10 days and immediately started having issues with it. Of course, it was in January, so it was cold. So when it was cold, after you start the car and let it warm up, go to take off, we'd immediately get an SOS error, which the SOS system is this system here. It runs a front camera up here, but it is kind of similar to an OnStar setup, if you're familiar with GMs or I don't even know what Ford has, but it's the emergency alert system, whatever. We kept getting errors in that system constantly, almost every morning. Get that error, come on for 30 minutes and then go off. Next day you go to start it, come on and go off. So we took it into the dealership. They had no idea what was going on. They thought it was a phone problem. They thought it was a network problem. They thought it was, they're doing the steps that Volkswagen is telling them to do. And mind you, through this whole process, I'm not going to name names, but our local dealership, Volkswagen dealership, has not been a problem. They've been more than helpful. The salesman there has been fantastic, great guy. He's put us in 2 cars. My son's bought a car from him, and that's how we got recommended into that in the first place. The service department's been fantastic. They've been working with us, working through things. We're not angry at the dealership at all. My whole issue is with Volkswagen itself. What a joke. Anyways, let me get back to it. So the blue one was having all these electrical issues and gremlins. We did have, so I don't know if you guys are familiar, Volkswagen has a key fob that you use to start the car, and also an app. The key fobs are a joke. You have to be within 20 feet of the car to start it, and I can show you. Let's step out of the car for a minute. They're a joke. So this is what the key fob looks like right here. Let me back up to my house. This is where we park the car almost all the time. You've got the width of my garage, which is about 24 feet or so, and that window right there is the living room. The key fob will not work from that window in the living room to right there. You have to stand at the entrance to the garage for the key fob to work. So within 20 feet, 25 feet. That's how worthless Volkswagen's key fobs are. Plus, in order for you to use a key fob, which most people want to use for convenience, right? Instead of logging into a phone, logging into an app, and then pushing buttons to start your car, you just use your fob. That's what they're for. Well, in order to get any kind of range out of them, you're supposed to buy a extended range key fob kit, which is like $1,500 to buy and have installed. And that is ridiculous. That is something that should be just installed factory from them. You can look at any GM product out there. My Chevrolet Avalanche parks to the right of, right here next to it, to the right of it. So it's another, what, 15 feet past the edge of the garage, and I can start it from the opposite end of the house. At my work, I can start it from long distances, and it's a aftermarket Amazon key fob I bought because the original one was missing. So there's no reason why Volkswagen cannot do that. So anyways, you have to use the app to start the car. And on that blue one, we were getting app failures often. It would not start the car. And they were claiming network issues or whatever else. But how can it be a network issue when the phone's still working? I mean, it just, none of it makes sense to me. None of it was done. So we had 997 miles on that car, just right at 1,000. Because of all the issues, we traded that car back in, right? And we got assistance from Volkswagen. They contributed to the buyback, not a buyback, but a down payment. They helped with a down payment on so that we would stay in the Volkswagen product. They provided us like $6,000 trade-in. I mean, we lost tons of money. We paid $34,000 for the new blue Volkswagen Tiguan and traded it in at $22,000, right? So it's new off the showroom floor. You're going to lose depreciation. I was expecting $5,000 or $6,000 maybe, but not 12. So that $6,000 helped, and we put another $4,000 down of our own money to get into this car that I'm sitting in now, which is another 2024 Volkswagen Tiguan SER edition, SE line, R line, whatever. All-wheel drive, same thing we had, a few different options, few different features. Color I like a lot better than the blue one. The wheels I like a lot better, but that's beside the point. That's about all I like of this car. Immediately off the bat, this car was doing the same exact thing that the blue car was doing with the SOS errors. So it's been in and out of the shop several times. They're trying to figure out what it is. Finally, we have an open case after like the third time in the shop, so probably sometime around mid-February. Plus the case was open from the blue car. We started another one on this car because of having the same issues. So we initiated a buyback, what do they say, buyback reconsideration or consideration or whatever it is for it. So we're trying to get Volkswagen to buy this car back because it's having the exact same issues as the other one, if not more issues. And I'll get into that in just a minute. So same SOS errors, coming on, coming off. Some of the functions now are even getting worse. It's been in the shop. We followed Volkswagen's procedures on everything. Sent them for the buyback. We've sent them all the service records. They've talked to the dealership. They know what's going on. They're not very good at communicating. They have not gotten back to us on anything in a couple weeks. But so they've determined that the camera car, they think this camera is bad. There's one that's hiding behind here. Right. So they think that camera is bad and it's causing a network issue, a communication error throughout the whole car, which I find hard to believe. And also try to input a picture of these codes that we keep getting. Well, here's the fun part. The camera was on back order for a long time. They finally just got it in last week. So we took the car in, today's Thursday, just this previous Monday. They were going to replace the camera. Let me back up before that. Last Thursday, a week ago today, my wife was driving to go to her second job, and we had an error code come on that was a new one. Besides all that, that day, the whole car was throwing all kinds of weird codes. On the side of the car, there's a push button to electronically unlock and lock the door as long as you have your key fob in your pocket, okay? Well, that day, the car didn't recognize the key fob. It would tell her that the key fob not found. And then once it finally was working and get the car started, because the car, she had come to work 2 days before that and tried 6 times to start the car, and the car would not start. Would not start with the remote, would not start with the app, would not start with the push button in the car. She had to set off the car alarm, unlock and lock the door for the car to start back up. Okay. Then the outside door locks don't work. Next day, she's trying to go to work to her other job, or first thing in the morning, head to work at her main job. Got a SOS error. Then we got a message on the display screen here. The display screen saying that her phone, the Verizon network, is not connected to the car, or her phone is not connected to the car, but yet she is streaming an audiobook from her phone to the car via Bluetooth. So how does that work? The app for the remote start that morning would not start the car. It would tell her cannot stop the vehicle if it's not running, basically. And she's trying to start the car, right? So that whole day has been nothing but issues on this thing. That night, she gets off work, goes to go to her second job, which is an occasional thing that she likes to do. And we get an EPC error. And that is for the engine, something major malfunction in the engine. So send all the pictures, and mind you, this whole time, every time we get an error, every time we get a message, I send it to the service advisor. We're dealing with Matt, who is our service, he is the service manager at the local dealership. Fantastic to work with. Everybody's been helpful, like I said. So every time I get an error, we take pictures, we send it to him, we give him the description of what's happening and what's going on. And that EPC error came on, and that immediately threw a red flag for the dealership. They called us. They had gotten a part in for the camera, and wanted us to bring the car in on Monday, this last Monday, to install that. Well, with that EPC error, because it's an engine-related issue, that was the first thing they worked on Monday. So they pulled it in, followed their technical support from Volkswagen themselves, did what they had to do. Well, come to find out, part of that EPC, that technical support, Volkswagen wanted the dealership to pull the oil pan off the bottom of the engine of the car. Well, they did that. And let's just say this car needs a new engine. There was a lot of material in the bottom, glitter material, metal shavings, metal flake in the bottom of the oil pan. So this car currently has 1,737 miles on it, and now needs a new engine. So here we are making payments for a car that's broke in the first place and now needs a new engine. So that immediately threw red flags up at the dealership. That also our service manager notified the field manager for the area for Volkswagen, because he's not necessarily deals with customers, but deals with the service side of things, and issues like that. So we've been on his list for a while. Now this has thrown a red flag to him. Hey, this is escalated. I mean, we're told it's almost a guarantee that they'll buy back this car. But it's just odd that we've had 2 brand new cars in 2 months that both have had major issues from Volkswagen. And it's ridiculous. I will not ever buy another new Volkswagen ever again. This company is off my list. And if you look at Consumer Reports, or maybe even it's J.D. Power and Associates too, Volkswagen is at the very bottom of reliability and consumer satisfaction. They are just absolutely terrible right now with their stuff. So it's a story that I didn't want to have to tell you guys, but I think for those of you guys, if you are new to the channel or watching or see this video because of the thumbnail and the title, take it at your own grain of salt. Not everybody's going to have the experience that I had. And again, mind you, my dealership has not done anything wrong in any way. It's been the manufacturer itself. We are just absolutely done with Volkswagen. I'm hoping to hear from somebody. We thought we would have heard from somebody within the last 2 days on the escalation of our case now that this car needs an engine. My wife's supposed to be going on a trip out of town next weekend, and I do not trust this car one bit to not blow up before then. If many of you who work on cars and wrench on cars, once you start getting metal shavings flowing through an engine, you're wiping bearings out, you're wiping out cams. I mean, it's nothing good can come from it. The dealership, when they took off the oil pan, they refilled the engine. They didn't change the oil filter, so it's going to have contaminated oil still running through the whole thing. So I turn wrenches and play with cars. I know I've built engines, and I don't trust this thing at all. I don't trust this thing for my wife. It's just, I hate to say it, but I don't think that this manufacturer is in a good position right now. So take it for what you will. You guys may have a different experience. You guys may have a great time with your Volkswagen. You may not. I don't know. I can tell you that the blue one we traded in, I don't know if they fixed it or not. They did resell it right away, and they haven't seen it back. Maybe the lady doesn't care about it. Maybe the lady's not worried about the lights coming on. Not my issue, not my problem. Maybe she stores it in the garage and it doesn't come out till it's warm. So that cold weather issue with the SOS air, the warmest that ever came on was 33 degrees. Anything below that comes on. So they could replace that camera in that thing, and now that it's getting to be spring and summer here, we would never know if it was fixed or not until next winter. So here we are. So now it's just a game of hurry up and wait. I thank you guys for watching and taking the time to listen to my story. I know it was long and rambling and boring, but I just want you guys to be aware out there of what you could possibly be getting into. Beware with Volkswagen. The dealerships aren't the issue. It's gonna be your manufacturer. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon.